Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Lomax here. Um, Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everything is going good for y'all. Bright sunny day. Down here in Atlanta, got some downtime. So I had something on my mind since I was around the area, and a lot of things come to my mind. A lot of things that come to my mind. It's better if I just speak on it instead of trying to wait later. I'm gonna be reading. I'm gonna be reading some things from the Apocrypha today that it stands out with me, and I've learned and gained a lot of wisdom from reading this that no man has never told me. Which is quite a shame, but it's okay, y'all. In life, you have to develop your own mentality and seek your own wisdom and understanding. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, something that stood out with me is enemies. Understanding how an enemy will work. And this all ties into, like I tell y'all, what I speak about on this channel, 9 times out of 10, it has happened to me. And it has happened to y'all probably. So let's get into it. So enemy tactics. And at the end of this, I'm going to break it down with the narcissist and all that, right? So check this out. Basically, it says he will shame you with his food until he has impoverished you again and again, and finally he will mock you. Afterwards, when he sees you, he will pass you by and shake his head at you. Take care not to be misled. I'm gonna stop right there for now. I'm down here in Atlanta, and I remember all of this happened to me with meeting someone who I once loved and thought that this person was my friend. This person saw that I was useful. I was young. At that time, I was very vulnerable. I wasn't close to my family. I was actually mad at them, over good reason. But that's a whole nother video. And that's another thing too. Y'all, when your mind and your emotions, when you're mad and upset and just have, a bunch of hatred, I guess, in your heart, a lot of times, man, I don't know what it is, but a lot of times people can sense that. And a lot of people I've learned, they will come in peace. That's what the enemy does. The enemy really don't ever show up, with chaos, basically, and deceive you up front. So basically, I moved in with my ex, brother-in-law. This man, he opened up his home to me. Like I told y'all, driving trucks or whatever. And I'm gonna keep this short, because y'all will get the picture. I done told this story many times. But the point of this video is me reading this stuff to y'all. And there's nothing new under the sun. It was happening then, So without further ado, here we go. This man, he been driving trucks. And of course, this was my ex-wife's sister. Brother, sorry. This man, he been driving trucks. I wasn't into trucking then. I was gonna go into the military. And this guy, he already had a plan. Like I told you, we went coast to coast everywhere. His man invited me into his home. His wife fed me, all kind of things. And I'm thinking this person is a good person, and maybe he was. You know what I mean? But it's only so long to where people will start telling on themselves, and it's up to you to have that wisdom and understanding to see it for what it is. Again, nobody is perfect. This is not spookism. I'm just giving it to you straight, y'all. People are evil, so to speak. You know what I mean? Devil, this and that. I get it. You know, I get it. Let's focus more on just individuals and personalities, all right? So, again, basically, I'm thinking he's helping, but he's really misleading me in so many ways. And I remember when, you know, me and the ex was having issues, and of course, you know, y'all know the story. Once she moved back with him, I saw this guy. I saw him at the grocery store. Do y'all know this guy? He just looked at me and he just walked right past me, which was fine, which was cool, because I already had read and understood what this was. Like, he didn't even know me. You know what I mean? And him trying to you know, deceive and make usury of me, basically. So he went off and got his own thing. He went off and got his own business, trucking business or whatever, his own truck. And this was around the time in 2020, y'all. 2020, everyone was getting into trucking because the money was there. The money was, you know, I mean, y'all, it was there. Until that crash came. But anyway, so the point what I'm getting at is that he didn't acknowledge me whatsoever. Yeah, like he didn't know me. And y'all, I was in a strange land, basically. In a strange land with enemies. And I forgot my point while I was getting it. This was it. He ended up getting a business, like a box truck business. That was his first. That was the first sign right there. I was warned, don't drive for him. But at the time, needed the money. Bills need to be paid, right? And again, I was making good money, so I did it. You know, I quit my trucking job and I ended up driving a box truck for him, you know, so we could make money. I thought it was all about keeping it in the family. Well, I'll tell you, when they say family and business don't work together, from my experience, it doesn't. It don't, y'all. Man, it doesn't. So the first warning sign, or many of the warning signs, was when he came by, he showed me the truck, and I turned it on, and I noticed a lot of the gauges was popping up. But at that time, y'all, I wasn't asking questions. I was just chasing money, basically. Trying to get bills paid. I knew he was going to pay me more than what he was paying, what the companies and stuff were paying. And when I tried to put the shift in drive, you know, I noticed it was getting stuck. Like I said, y'all, the writing was on the wall right there. So anyway, let me skip to it, right? So anyway, as I was taking loads, I went up to Ohio. And on the way back from Ohio, right, I want to say I got down to West Virginia or Virginia itself, Tennessee, one of them. But the truck, the accelerator and the speedometer, it dropped to like 45 to 55. I had to pedal all the way down to the floor. I'm just like, what in the world? You know, it's not going correctly. Is y'all, literally, I drove the box truck all the way from Ohio all the way to North Carolina to get service. And again, I call him like, yo, bro, what's the deal here? You know what I mean? We having an issue with the truck. And you know, instead of him saying, well, I'm gonna fix the problem or whatever, you know, just get to this place safe or whatever, or trying to help me or whatever, he was so busy because he was still driving. And he tells me he thinking that I don't know what I'm doing, that I'm just kind of making this up, that the truck won't accelerate right. That's something else I noticed, and he was pissing me off, man, to a point where I was just like, he called me back. He said, yo, is it still messing up? And I was like, yeah, it's still messing up. And he was like, oh, well, did you try this? Oh, let it regen. I was like, man, listen, I've tried all that. I've done all that. You know, it's something way wrong with it than that. The accelerator, you know what I mean? And basically he was just like, well, you know, just keep rolling with it. You know, I'm gonna try to set something up in North Carolina. But he was like, you know, park it for a while and then see will it work or whatever. And maybe it's just something small. And I'm just like, dude, I'm telling you, this is nothing small. Like he wasn't registering it. You know what I mean? I think he was purposely trying to, I guess, insult me in so many ways. My intelligence or my knowledge of knowing something is wrong. Simply, you can see something wrong. I'm on the interstate that's 70 miles per hour, 65 miles per hour, and I can only get, what, 55 to 45 miles per hour? So anyway, let's keep moving forward. And so, and it was snowing too, y'all, around these times. It was snowing, it was cold, it was in the winter time, I remember. And so it was at one point, I had to just, you know, get a hotel room. And of course, he was paying me. You know, he was paying me. I was on an LLC, a 1090, not an LLC, but a 1090 basically. 1099, it's something they call it with your business, part of the business or whatever. He was paying me like 25% of the load. And so basically, when I told him, yo, let me just get a room or whatever, because in a box truck, you don't have a bed, okay? And so every time I would say, you know, man, I'm just gonna get a room for the night, you know what I mean? It's cold in the truck, you know what I mean? I don't want to keep running this, you know, using up the fuel. And he was like, well, man, you don't want to keep spending your money, you know, on them hotel rooms and all that. And I'm just like, who is you that tell me? Y'all see what I'm saying? He kept going on and trying to lecture me about the money that I'm working for. Like, dude, you don't own me, you don't control me. I say, we got a contract. No, we didn't have no contract. See, that's something I learned too. You ever go in business with somebody, you write out a contract. You write out, you know, what your expectations is and all that. And after this video, I'm gonna follow up with a part 2 because I ended up working for him a second time. And again, boy, when you don't learn your lessons the first time, man, you'll be probably 10 times, 3 times worse than what you were before. If you trust the same person. Like I say, the man is a con artist. He was a salesman, basically, in so many ways. Oh man, if you don't take the job, you know what I'm saying, somebody else will. I got 3 other people waiting, you know, Mexicans, you know what I'm saying. And so basically he ended up booking a place, I think Freightliner or something, or International, you know, to get the truck service. And in my mind, I don't believe that dude took the time to pay to register that truck and get it really looked at it, so to speak. Not register, but get it qualified. Y'all know what I mean? Because that truck had so many problems. It was more than one gauge that popped up on the dash. And like I said, there's no way he test drove that truck. He probably test drove it and went like a mile or 2. That's not a test drive. It's not a test drive. Anybody that know about driving No, when you test drive something, you take it on the back road, interstate or something, and you floor that thing. You know, you do what you got to do. Try to do, tight turns, whatever you doing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so I get there over time after that last conversation we had when he told me he booked the for the maintenance on the truck. He go and tell me, that was the last time I spoke with him, and like a day passed by. I didn't hear nothing from him. I was upset too. You know what I mean? I was just pissed. But so what I started doing is I was like, man, you know what? I was saying in my mind, I'm gonna go back to the company what me and him used to work for together. And so I end up calling the company, and the company tells me, oh, nah, you can't come back here. Yeah, y'all was terminated. And I was like, what? I was like, terminated? He was like, yeah, you and your brother-in-law or whatnot, when y'all leased the truck and all that. And I was just like, whoa. I was like, see, when me and him decided to go separate ways, and he was telling me about this truck thing, he was gonna get his own truck, he told me that our lease was up. Ding. He lied to me. Because that man, he messed up that truck, y'all. He messed up that truck, and I think the people saw it. He went under some low trees, branches and all that, and put a big ding on the top of the truck, and the lights in the ceiling right here, it fell down. I remember, because I was in the back sleep. It was his turn to drive, and I just pretended that I was still asleep, like I didn't feel nothing. But the whole lights and stuff fell down, everything. I was dead tired too, but I just still pretended to be asleep or whatever. And late, you know what I'm saying? Nah, you gonna deal with that. You don't mess up these people. But anyway, man, he lied. He lied to me, and I really put a lot of trust in this man, more than what I should have. Like I tell y'all, the signs was always there. And so I'm in North Carolina. I finally get to North Carolina after a long ride, 55 miles per hour, y'all, to get all the way from Ohio to North Carolina. Somewhere on the coast. I forgot the name of the place, what it's called. But it had a small airport. I think it's called, Fayetteville, North Carolina, on the coast. And basically, I parked the truck. When I got there, I parked the truck. Like I told y'all, I stayed overnight. I think it was the weekend. They wasn't open for some reason. For some reason it wasn't open. And I was like, yo, dog. And he was like, man, I'm gonna get you a plane ticket to come on back to Atlanta or whatever. Which is, I guess he didn't know how long it was gonna take. And he was saying, I think it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take more than a few days to service this truck. And so as I was going, so he booked the ticket, and for some reason he booked a late one. Nope. Hold on, let me think, y'all. I'm gonna skip this part because I forgot what time he booked it. But what I do know is that when I was trying to get in contact with him, y'all, I had to stay the night in the airport, small airport that was doing reconstruction and all that. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do none of that, y'all. I couldn't do none of that. And I was calling him like at 8 o'clock p.m., 9 o'clock p.m. And I'm like, yo, I know this dude not sleep. And so y'all, was getting heated, man. I was getting furious with this dude. And I'm just like, man, this is crazy, when somebody's working for you like that, you need to have good communication. So basically, I didn't get no sleep. I end up catching the plane, going to Atlanta. And, you know, he picked me up from the airport like he said he was, and he could sense it on me, man. I was mad at him. He could sense it. You know, I was like, in my mind, I was like, it's best for me to be quiet. He gave me my money. He did do that, and so basically, you know, he was talking to me, this and that and the third. Whatever he had to say, I wasn't feeling it, man. I didn't trust him no more. None of that. Because he still tried to get me to drive again. It was a little bit after that, when I was dead tired. He knew I didn't get no sleep. And this man still asked me, yeah, I'm booking a load. And I'm like, dude, really? After I just sat here and told you, dude, I didn't get no sleep. Again, man, money. These people, they just go crazy about it. Hey, I know you gotta have money to take care of yourself, but man, you're not hearing me, man. So anyway, y'all, I would get into more detail or whatever, and I'm just gonna give y'all another follow-up on the second time, to where basically the moral of this, I was only useful to him. I was useful to him. But anyway, I basically told him, like, yo, man, it's best if I just go and do my own thing. You know what I'm saying? That one little mess up right there with the truck, and he tried to pretend like, you know, I'm just making this stuff up. That didn't sit well with me at all. That didn't sit well with me at all, man. And so I just told him straight up, and he was like, yes, it's probably best if you do your own thing, though, you know. And I could tell he felt some type of way about it, but it was cool. And you know, he paid me, and I just went on about my way, you know. And ended up finding another decent company, or went back to a company I was with. But anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think about this video. Like I say, it comes from this right here. If you're not useful, you know, with your enemies, you have enemies in plain sight, and sometimes don't even know it. Like I told y'all, they will expose it to you. You just gotta have the understanding and wisdom to acknowledge it. Like I said, once I found out he lied about something like that, about getting determined, he told me a whole completely story. I never did bring it up to him though. I was like, so we was determined, and you try to make it seem like, you know, our lease was up. Okay. Because the lady told me, yeah, truck damage or whatever. The truck was damaged. Yeah, from him. So y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments, and like, share, do what you do. This is Lomax. Peace.